Cool. All right. Moving right along. So, code.org offering things all over the spectrum and continuing up into that high school level. We're going to hear from Pauline Lake and about CS Awesome. Hi, Pauline.
Thanks, Dan. Hi, everyone. My name is Pauline Lake. I work with the National Center for Computer Science Education. The center houses Mobile CSP, which many of you may have heard of, which is an endorsed provider for CS principals. And we are now the home of CS Awesome. CS Awesome was recently created. It was really came to life the first time at the beginning of last year. And we were really trying to focus on next steps. We had done plenty of professional development and developed curriculum for CSP with mobile CSP. And as many of you know, CSP was created to help get more girls and underrepresented minorities into CSA. So we wanted to take that next step to help take all the teachers we had trained previously, all those students, and support them and help them transition into the CSA course. So our focus is that transition for both the teachers and the students. Everything about our curriculum is developed with that in mind. We are at an AP level, so we are now actually an endorsed provider for CSA. We're approved by the College Board, 100% aligned to the new framework. And one of the things, in addition to the transition that we focus on that makes us unique, is we really focus a lot on scaffolding. So there's lots of opportunities within CS Awesome. There's interactive code where students can actually go into the Runestone ebook. They can do their coding and programming directly in the browser. There are what are called parsons problems or mixed up code problems where students can move code around. And they can also get feedback, and it will give them help if they are struggling on a problem, and so it will assist them if they need it. There's lots of scaffolding for the FRQ questions, for the labs. We have a couple of them. I think there's 3 that are built in right now. It's in our syllabus if you're interested. And then we always try to make sure that there's creative and pair programming that is built in at the sort of the end. So every topic, every concept that students are learning about, we give them some sort of like fun, engaging challenge that they can do with a partner at the very end to put everything together. At the bottom there, I just tried to put in a couple of screenshots there. The active code is using Repellent. I always say that wrong. But the active code, the students can edit directly in the Runestone ebook, or they can actually open it up in the Replit website. So just moving on to slide 33. Our student ebook that I'm referring to is a free book that is on Runestone Academy. Many of you, if you have taught CSA or heard of CSA or done anything with Runestone Academy even, may have heard about the Java Review course by Barb Erickson. So we partnered with Barb to update her work. So we took all of her original work that she had and incorporated it into CS Awesome. So CS Awesome is really the ramped up new version that meets all of the CSA College Board requirements now, and we very much collaborate with Barb. One thing that often stems from that, when teachers like they say, "Oh, I recognize that. I know Barb Erickson's. I know Runestone," is teachers often don't realize that there's more to this. Right? There's more to CS Awesome. We have an entire free set of lesson plans for teachers that are available. So if you were to visit teach.csawesome.org, there's an entire set of those lesson plans that are there. So for every student lesson that's in the ebook, there's a lesson plan that can guide the teacher in delivering that lesson in the classroom. There's worksheets and supplemental materials. Our lesson plans actually focus on like there's sections about flexibility and differentiation. We call out those areas for teachers. We have suggestions on culturally responsive teaching strategies that can be used. We try to give creative ideas and activities that can be done besides just telling the student to do the activities in the ebook. We have a couple of sections in there, again, staying true to our goal, to referring to CS teaching tips and the transition from CSP to CSA. So every lesson plan actually has a section that points out, hey, teacher, this is a section that your student may be able to relate something from CSP that they had learned to help them understand this concept, as well as pointing out to the teacher if they're, if they're transitioning themselves, maybe they're a first year CSA teacher, they can relate back and say, hey, I did this in CSP, I taught this concept before, it's pretty similar, I can focus on that transition. We also have lots of comparison. So mobile CSP was blocks-based app implementer. We take the blocks-based programming and we compare it and place it next to the Java programming. So we have that document available so that way students can quickly reference that whenever they would like. If I may, I would like just to show you sort of what an example of a lesson looks like, and then show you what the lesson plan looks like. So the lesson plans are available through joining our Google group that we have available. So I'm just going to try to quickly share my screen. Let's see if we can do this. And I may need to do this a couple of times because I think I have them in different windows here. All right. So this is our CSAwesome Runestone ebook. Hopefully everybody can see it okay. Our main course page is here. There's a table of contents. I'm in the main course right now called CSAwesome, but it is customizable. So like a teacher can make their own copy of the course and have their own teacher dashboard. But this is the main course right now. An example of a lesson would be 1.3 variables and data types. So in this lesson, typical structure would be there's some type of introduction to the topic that the students are going to learn. This one's a pretty easy one because it is very comparable to what's already known from CSP with variables. There's usually some type of video. So I think that's one thing that we definitely want to improve on moving forward, is trying to make more videos that are our own content, adding those in. A lot of these that are currently in here are just repurposed videos, like they're quick and to the point and help get the concept across. As you go through, there are like highlighted notes that are called out, important ideas. There's lots of interactive check for understandings that students can do to get immediate feedback and do formative assessments. As I keep scrolling here, they learn a little bit more information, and then they can go on and actually practice it here. So this is the active code that I was explaining, and I gotta get this just right with the scrolling. The active code, so they get a challenge that they should be doing with some exercise. They actually edit the code directly in the browser window here, and then they can save it. Teachers can see their responses in the teacher dashboard and be able to grade it through the dashboard. They can also, as I said, they can open it up and work directly in Replit as well. Yeah.
Sorry, Pauline. So I think we're coming up on the end of our 10-minute chunk. I was wondering if maybe you could speak to what the summer professional development starts to look like.
Sure, yeah, that was my next slide. Just the last thing I was going to show was this is what the mixed up code problems look like. You can drag and drop the code. All right. The lesson plans, like I said, they're there. I'm sorry, I didn't get to show them. They're there, and they have all the different sections that I have shown on the previous slide. So just moving on to slide 34. We have sort of two different tracks of PD that's available. So we have PD that is for our teachers that would be experienced in Java. That's considered our immersion PD. It's approximately 45 hours of PD. And then for teachers who are new to Java, it's about 65 hours of PD, and we call that extended. So essentially, all teachers do the same PD, same 45-hour PD, but if you're new to Java, you have the option to take an additional 20 hours of pre-work in just the Java content. So that way you can get caught up on the Java and get some familiarity with it before jumping into learning about the curriculum and other aspects of the framework itself for CSA. The way that our professional development works is it's online. We do approximately 10 hours per week, and we do both synchronous and asynchronous work. Teachers work together in a small cohort where they are guided by a master teacher or facilitator that is an experienced CSA teacher and also trained by the National Center for CS Education in equity and pedagogy and instructional teaching in computer science. The cohort really works together and is a support system for one another. So there's the small group, and the idea for the Arizona teachers would be that we would have you join one specific group, and then we would assign you a master teacher that is close in your area, and then all of you actually decide when are the times that you're meeting together to do the work online at the same time. So typically there's an hour-long presentation that would happen maybe towards the beginning of the week, where you'd get an introduction to what the topic is for the week. You'd get some assignments that you would be assigned to do. You'd go off, you work on your own, always having your group sort of at your fingertips. You can email them or your master teacher at any time. They're dedicated to you for that entire PD and the academic year. And then you come back together for a second meeting, typically, where you kind of debrief and talk about how things went with those assignments, were there struggles, were there questions, what additional help could be needed? Can the master teacher show you how to do certain things, or just other questions? And that's a time for everybody to go over that. We do have scholarships available, limited scholarships for teachers who are transitioning from CSP to CSA. If you've never taught CSA and you're going to teach it for the first time in this coming academic year, and you've taught CSP previously, you are eligible for a scholarship with us. The information is available on our website. You can apply for that and just say that you're applying based on wanting to be in the Arizona PD. There's also a grad credit option that we offer through the National Center for Computer Science Education, which is at the College of St. Scholastica. That option is available 2 to 3 credits typically, with some additional assignments. So that's also an option that teachers like to have at the end. Just to kind of to wrap up, the other big thing I wanted to mention is, besides your group, we also have a really, really awesome Google group where all of our teachers are invited. Any teacher that has found our resources, uses our curriculum, they have joined our Google group. And there is always a team member that is always there, can respond. There's master teachers, facilitators, but there's also the other teachers. So you can send an email and get a just-in-time response with teachers from across the country who may be having similar issues or can offer help. And I've been noticing it's been a really awesome community to have for our teachers, and just witnessing that in the times that we're experiencing right now has really been awesome. And seeing that kind of develop and see it in action is really, really awesome. So there's so much support that's there, and we're dedicated to you when you do the PD with us to help make sure you are supported and confident and able to teach the course.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Pauline. I really appreciate that. You've got a couple of questions, I think, on slide 35, that I'll let you kind of either in the speaker notes or in the chat, you can go through some of those. One that I think I just want to call out super briefly is someone said they applied for a scholarship and when can they hear back? I don't know if you have a quick answer on that process for hearing back about scholarships.
Yeah, so if you were an Arizona teacher that applied, I held off, and we held off as a team responding because we didn't know what was going to happen with the PD and whether it was going to go virtual or not. So now that we have that decision and we know it is going to be virtual and we know what dates we're offering you, which is on that slide 34, we're going to start processing those applications. So just bear with us for right now. I will get to all of them and I will make sure that you are contacted.
Awesome. Thank you, Pauline. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.